just a warning. I didn't realize how long this video was gonna be. It's just me kind of going over the big highlights for me, which is basically the whole thing. But yeah, enjoy. You know, if you like this kind of thing, I just like talking about Animal Crossing because I have a problem. Okay, bye, enjoy. Hey, it's Ash. So we just got the new Animal Crossing Direct, which I am mind blown over. I mean, I like a lot of the features we expected and were hoping to see, but of course there were so many new things that were introduced that I am just mind-boggling over, or I should say, you know, Google, I don't know, I'm going crazy. And now I'm like, okay, March just can't come soon enough. What I wanted to do with this video though was kind of go over some of the highlights that I noticed throughout New Horizons. I kind of did a deep dive and I made notes of what I saw. There were also some things that I wanted to discuss that I didn't do in my reaction video because of course that was just reacting firsthand to what was being shown in the direct. But in this video I kind of wanted to do a deeper dive at some of those features and, you know, some of my thoughts and my anticipations for them. And what's going to happen is I'm mostly going to be jumping around the video to the highlighted spots that I noticed a lot in. I'm not going to go and try to figure out every new item, every new phone case, every new clothing item. You know, because we all know that there's going to be a ton of new items to customize your character with, to customize your home with. We already know all that. What I really want to go over is just kind of like some of the NPC stuff, the villager stuff, and you know, the island stuff too, because this is a whole new Animal Crossing game and I want to just, like, I'm more focused on those things. Yes, I am excited for new furniture and excited for new clothing and stuff like bags and backpacks and all that, but I'm also excited for just general features, you know, if you get what I mean. Anyways, let's just jump to the first thing here. And again, some things are going to be little and some things are going to be small, so let's get to my first kind of highlight, which is villagers eating ice cream. As we can see in this little screen cap here, Bunny is eating an ice cream. She is eating a little ice cream and that's just so cute. And then we also have wind blowing through the trees here with Lily on the tree log here. And then as you can see, this is a green airport and airplane. So I don't know if maybe we'll have the chance to choose the color of our airport and airplane at all. Because later in the direct, they were like a darker blue. And in some of the E3 stuff and some of the other trailers and such that we have seen, they've been different colors. So I don't know if there's customization to that too. It wouldn't surprise me because this game is so focused on customization. So, and then I wanted to point out and kind of discuss this part. This is kind of a big thing. In New Leaf, you were able to kind of see a preview of the island or the town, village, whatever, see the village's map and landscape before you moved there. And that was kind of your way of choosing what town you wanted to start in. With this island being so customizable, as we see later in the direct, where we can, you know, build the ridges and build new river spots and all that, like we can do so much. Does this really matter? So I guess that's one of my questions that they didn't really answer even in the questionnaire part, but that's because this is new to us. But how much can we customize to the point that does it matter if what island we choose at the beginning? Does it matter? I don't know. That's just something I've been thinking about. Of course, you know, I love that we can pick which kind of island we get at the beginning, but I just wonder if it even matters later on. Like how deep you can get into customization is the real question. But that was just kind of one of my insights to this after watching it a couple times. Of course, we kind of already knew about having the northern and southern hemisphere options from the E3 conference last year, which I think is really cool because now we're incorporating, you know, not just some of the world, but all of the world. You know, I just think it's so neat. So in this screen grab, we can see the red elephant up in the top left, which is a new villager. I do not recognize that villager, and so I'm pretty sure it's new. There was recently a tweet that was going around with a Switch case that displayed many new villagers that we hadn't seen before, that we did get to see in this direct. And this Switch case came out maybe like a couple to a few weeks ago, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And, you know, so we had these blurry images of these new villagers. I don't know if that one was on there. I don't remember that one. I mean, of course we know we're going to get new villagers, but it's really cool to kind of see it happening in this direct. Also, look at the cherry blossoms, look at these items, and oh, the cherry blossom leaf piles are so cute. Again, I don't want to go too much into the items because I feel like that's just a given, but it is just, I love it all. Okay, but can we also talk about, look at the detail in the bugs. This is crazy. Like, look how much detail. I mean, there's so much detail in everything, but just for them to come up close to the bugs and everything is just so cool. Like, man, there's just so much detail to everything. So here I wanted to stop because there are several things happening in this screen grab here. Of course, we can build snowmen again, which is really cool. I don't know if you get prizes or not. We only see the default snowman being built. We don't see like the top hat snowman being built, which does the bingo in New Leaf. We don't see the mama and all of that. So we, you know, I don't know. We'll have to see. But if we look up at the monkey villager, I forget his name. I don't know why I forget his name, but I do. But he's holding a donut, okay? And listen, I know this is such a silly thing, but he's holding a freaking donut, okay? Just let me have this little bit of happiness, all right? It's not hurting you. And then this sheep villager, which again, I know the name, but I just can't recall it at the moment. But they're holding a weight? A weight? Or I should say a dumbbell is the more correct term, but still, a dumbbell, a weight, you know, what in the world? That's crazy. So right here, again, I don't want to talk too much about the items, but what in the heck is going on right here? These seashells are enormous. What is happening? And then when you continue it, there's these tall mushrooms. So tall seashells and tall mushrooms? Like, what is happening? I mean, I'm not gonna question it too much. I love it all, but it's just also like, wow, there's so many things to, there's just so many new things. So in this next screen grab with the winter, there's a few things happening here, okay? I'm gonna pause it so I can kind of show you. We have a snowman that's not the kind that you usually build, so I don't know if this is just a furniture item or something. But that's not the kind you build unless you can build that now. I don't know, but I thought that was interesting just because we can build snowmen, you know, so otherwise it doesn't matter. But then this player is shaking this lit tree. I'm sorry, my mom came out. Anyways, this tree that's, you know, has a bunch of lights on it, this player just shook it and a light bulb fell out, a red light bulb. So I wonder what that's about. I'm sure it's some kind of event or something that happens during the winter. I don't know. And then we have ice sculptures up here, which I'm sure is something you can probably craft, which is really neat. And then also we have these new flowers. Look at them. They're so pretty and so beautiful. Ugh. And here they tell you that you can build your own tent wherever you want, of course, just like in New Leaf. But you can then also place tents for the villagers wherever you want. And I think we already kind of knew this based off the E3 stuff, but we never saw it in action. We never saw that how it works, and you know, you can kind of see the predetermined layout for them. So, which is really cool. And I also remember that we've been told that they also, they, meaning the animal villagers, they also have debts that they can pay to Tom Nook to upgrade their house and stuff, because they're obviously starting in a tent as well as us, which is really neat. But it's a big deal that we can now dictate where these villagers live. Like, that's so crazy, especially for players who are hardcore into New Leaf, who, you know, went through plot resetting and then doing path resetting. You know, we did so many things to perfect our town and get the villagers in the spots we wanted them to be in. So this is a blessing. So in the resident services tent, we can see that we can buy and sell items that we would like and need for our everyday island life, but we can also craft items inside the tent, and we can collect recipes for different items.
which I think they're about to go over. Yeah, see, look, you collect recipes, and I'm pointing when I can point with my mouse here, but let me go back a little bit. Just a little bit here, sorry. But look, you can select recipes, like you can, or I should say you can collect recipes, which I think is pretty neat. Like you slowly collect recipes instead of just, you know, oh, you can craft all these things. That's pretty neat. And of course, we know that we can go out and gather materials to craft with, which we learned from E3 last year. So that's pretty cool too. I have nothing against the crafting aspect. I think it's really neat. From this direct, we have learned that you can buy things and not just craft everything, which I'll get into later, but you know, you're not gonna have to just craft everything. This is just kind of another thing that you can do on the side. Sorry, I had a spasm. Another thing that I thought was really interesting is that you can do customization to the DIY furniture pieces. So you cannot customize just any piece of furniture. You can only customize the furniture pieces that you have crafted, is what I'm understanding from what I listened to in this direct and from, you know, the research I've done just watching this a few times over. So that's really neat. Of course, you know, there are probably going to be items that we buy that we cannot craft ourselves, because not all items can be crafted based off of what was said in this direct. But you know, being able to craft some items is, or I should say, being able to customize some items is always great. I know a lot of people had fun with that in New Leaf. And one other thing I wanted to point out is that when they go down to the pencil area here, look how much room we have for designs, okay? They can literally scroll to more designs. We can hold so many designs. Like, you used to have to go through so many different players in one town just to be able to hold so many different path designs and stuff. But now we have so many designs that we have to scroll through. I should say save spots that we have to scroll through is what I should say. Sometimes I just talk and it doesn't come out fully right. I know what I'm trying to say, and I know my friends and family know what I'm trying to say, but it just doesn't come literate. It doesn't come out literate. So now I want to kind of show you, so they showed us in this little part of the direct the items that you have crafted, plus what you can customize, like add a pattern to. We can see that this bench has had pillows added using a tree pattern that this user had. You can see this stool had like a polka dot pattern. This stool has the tree pattern. This table has these placemats, you know, with a pattern. This chair has a pattern. The mug even has a pattern. There are so many options, and I can't wait to see all the different items we can not only craft, but be able to customize. It'll be so interesting to see. Okay, so the airport. I do have some questions whether you can change the color or not, because see, now it's blue instead of green. You can use it anytime, which makes sense because that's how you were able to use the trees and stuff to invite players to your town in the past and now island. So you can use local play and online play using this airport area, which is really cool. And then it looks like you can also craft, I guess maybe as the main host. I don't know if you can craft as just any person. I don't know. Because what if you need a net or a fishing pole? Could you craft while you're visiting another island? Who knows? So that's still a question I have, but somebody can at least craft during online play, which is really cool. And I say that it's really cool because in the past, whenever you have online play with other players, you tend to not be able to do a whole lot in your town. You're very limited to some of the things you can do. So it's kind of cool to see that some things have been modified to where you can do more things, but again, this is only a preview, so I don't have any actual experience to back up what I'm saying right now. This is just based off my observations through this direct. But okay, so I do have a big question here. You can send a card for 200 bells. I don't think this means the post office is replaced. I think this is just special postcards. I'm sure we can still do letters and stuff through the post office. If not, it is a very sad day in Animal Crossing history that the post office is no longer a thing. But I can't imagine that it wouldn't be a thing still. But I don't know. If it's not a thing, obviously I will be sad. But that's why I wanted to bring this up. Well, that's one of the reasons why. But another reason why is you can see that some of these postcards are limited availability. Have a limited availability. They are available until a certain date, which means you can only use that postcard until then. And it looks like, you know, kind of Easter, or I should say Bunny Day themed postcards, which is really neat. And, you know, with the cherry blossoms here is kind of a spring look. I think that's really cool to only have limited postcards at different seasons. That's really neat. But again, it kind of makes me question, is this replacing the post office, or is this just a fun little perk in the airport to send postcards? I don't know. That's something I am very curious about. And then of course we know that we get a tent through Tom Nook's generosity, and that we can slowly, you know, pay him back or be able to build a house and pay him back for the house slowly at our own pace, which is great. And then of course the Nook phone, as they said in this direct, there will be more apps that will become available, and the way they said it makes me think that more apps become available as you play the game. Maybe there's some free updates that will come that will give us more apps, but I think based off of how they worded it, it means that there's going to be new apps as you progress through the game and unlock different features. And, you know, the island-wide broadcast, which I think is pretty neat, kind of tells you what's happening in your island at the time. You know, I'm curious to see how much further this feature works, but, you know, pretty neat. I am very excited for Nook Miles because Nook Miles is kind of like the, there was some goal feature in Animal Crossing New Leaf Welcome Amiibo update, which I thought was great because it gave you goals to accomplish every day and, you know, from everyday tasks that you're already doing. What I did find interesting is that in order to get to the island, you had to use 5,000 Nook Miles to get there. So you, or maybe 5,000, that's just what number we see right now. But you owe Nook Miles essentially for getting to the island. And you have to pay those miles back. And after you pay those miles back, you can then use the Nook Stop terminal here to be able to exchange it for merchandise and then other materials. So here's like the merchandise, and then see, you can get stuff like Custom Design Pro Editor, which I'm assuming is the app on your Nook phone to be able to create outfit designs. And then we see recipes. I'm seeing hairstyles and hair colors and pocket organization guide, tool ring, it's essential. Like, wow, you have to unlock things as you go, which is pretty cool. But I'm very curious if we have ways to unlock new hairstyles and hair colors, what's happening to Shampoodle? I am very curious as to what's happening to a lot of our NPCs. So yeah, I hope Shampoodle is still making a return, but I'm not sure if we're able to unlock hairstyles and hair colors on our own. I don't know. Or maybe we do have Shampoodle and the only way to get new hairstyles and hair colors from her is to unlock it through Nook Miles? I don't know. We'll just have to see, but I'm very curious. So that takes us to the dangerous creatures section, which is kind of interesting because we already know that scorpions and tarantulas can make you faint in the summer nights whenever they sting you. But now wasps can make you faint? I don't know if maybe there are other creatures that will be able to attack us, but wasps can. I mean, they used to just leave a mark on a face, but now they can make us faint. I am scared for my life. And then, of course, we get into the nighttime scene here, and she runs in to Wisp. And nothing really happens, he just kind of screams at her, and then disappears. They don't really show anything, but it means Wisp is confirmed. An NPC I don't have to worry about. And then of course we've got Gulliver here, so another NPC I don't have to worry about, which is so great. And then we get to the rescue service, which when they play this, they're using Rossetti's song. So it makes you think that it's Rossetti, but Rossetti doesn't appear. So I'm like, what's happening? And, you know, at first I was like, why would I need a rescue service? But after watching this, I kind of figured out, you know, if you start going crazy with customizations to your island, and you're also just now getting used to your island, you may, like, you know, if you do the customizations, you might trap yourself or something, so you will need the emergency service to get you back home. At first, I didn't understand why you would need this, but now I get it after thinking a little bit. But again, this is just me analyzing and thinking. I have no actual proof of any of that. And of course, we can make our homes, which I feel like I've already talked about. And of course, we can, you know, go into depth with our home loans to Tom Nook, just like old times. But I love how the homes look. I mean, the overall game looks great. But one thing I did want to point out is that when you have a house, you have storage. I would love to see how the storage looks and feels, but does that mean we no longer have to use closets and dressers? You know, that's just something I'm thinking of. You know, of course we can have those pieces of furniture in our home, but we don't have to, like, open them to be able to get to our stuff, and they're not linked together like they are in New Leaf if you're a veteran player. And then, of course, I am crazy about this new way of customizing your house. Like, there's a whole tool to help you customize your house so fluently, and it's beautiful. And I guess you're using the storage items based off what I'm looking here whenever you're in this section. I don't know, but wow. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful tool, and I can't wait to use it. And of course, it's not an Animal Crossing game, and it's not your home unless you can expand it. So super excited about that. Looks beautiful. So one thing I wanted to point out here with this is the Nook Miles tickets that you can purchase. And these Nook Miles tickets take you to a random island. And each time you use a ticket, Wilbur changes the destination island that you go to. Just depending on how he feels. And this is based off of what they said in the direct. So every time you fly out there with a ticket, you're flown to a random, you know, abandoned island for an island tour, and basically you can collect all the different items from there and go crazy, basically. Which is kind of cool. That's kind of mirroring what we could do in New Leaf, where we can go off to a tropical island and we could take back the fruit and stuff. But the tropical island in New Leaf was always summer. So I wonder if this island would always be summer, or would it also have seasons? I don't know. But you can also meet villagers on there, which I wonder if you can invite them back to your own island. I don't know. Okay, see, I think we can have seasons on there too, on the island, because I just saw fall and now I'm seeing winter. But what's also cool is you saw how she jumped, and then, I should say with the cursor, she jumped and the spider fell into the river behind her, which I thought was really neat. Look, so look, she's being chased by the tarantula and she jumps over the river. So there's a few things going on there. One, you can make the tarantula fall down the river when it's chasing you. Two, you can jump over, I guess, rivers that are one space apart. Obviously, if there are more than one, you have to use the vaulting pole that we've seen in the past, but you can jump over one space rivers, which is really cool. I mean, we've never really had one space rivers, but, you know, that was something I noticed here, which I thought was really cool. What they have shown and described here is that you can have, I shouldn't have paused it, you can have up to 8 different players living on one island, but you can only play up to 4 of those players at one time in local play, which is interesting. And of course the leader has kind of the say. They control the game camera, they can craft the stuff, they basically have the lead, obviously, as the leader. But you can change the leader very fluently and very easily. That way that person can go off and buy items and stuff instead of, you know, only waiting on the, you know, the first leader. You know, you can change leader and all that fun stuff. And apparently if you aren't the leader or something and you catch something, it goes into the recycle box. If that's how I understand it, I don't know, don't quote me, but I think that's how it is. If you catch something during local play and you aren't the leader, you can go and pick it up from the recycle box later. Again, I don't think so. That's just from what I understood. But either way, it's really cool that they've created a way for you to be able to claim things that you got while you were in local play. Now, when this first came up, I was kind of dismissive of it because I'm like, okay, yeah, we know about the Nintendo app that you can use. Nobody really uses it because there's Discord and stuff, and that's what we use to talk. But so I dismissed it too fast before I realized that they're talking about, this is Nook Link, that you can link your phone up with your game, and it allows you to scan QR codes with your phone's camera, and you can use the QR codes from Happy Home Designer and New Leaf. Hello, that's amazing. And I wonder if that means we can also use our phone to scan QR codes for New Horizons. Either way, it's really cool that we can use QR codes from previous games. That is really cool. And then also you can use the keyboard, which is really nice because using the 3DS keyboard or using any keyboard from the past games was a chore. And then they also showed, they didn't get into them, but there's also the Passport, Best Friend, and Setting apps, which I'm curious to see what they hold. I'm guessing that Passport has your character information. Best Friend is a list of all your friends that you have approved as best friends. And then the settings is, of course, the phone settings or something. I don't know, but I guess we'll see soon. And then now to show you a few small things, we have Poncho fishing here. And then we have Flurry trying to catch a little bug. And then we have Charlize doing aerobics, which we have seen animals doing aerobics on posters in Asia. But that makes us all question, for people who have played the GameCube game, does that mean morning aerobics is coming back in the summer? That would be great if so, but villagers can have more actions and things to do, which is really neat. And then of course we have our facilities. We have the museum, Nook's Cranny, Able Sisters, and I'm sure there's much more. The campsite. The museum is just drop dead gorgeous. It is 10 times better than New Leaf, and New Leaf was amazing. And then of course Nook's Cranny, which I'm sure will evolve over time to like Nook and Go, and then like the mall place. Able Sisters looks so cute and quaint. I love it, and there's so much room. And then the campsite is kind of mirroring what was in New Leaf and then also in previous games. But hold on one second, let's go back real quick. Rodney is holding a freaking lollipop. I may not like Rodney, but I do like villagers holding lollipops. The museum is just gorgeous. I can't get over the museum. The museum made me want to cry. What is really cool though too is you can open the cabinet in Nook's Cranny to buy things, which is interesting. So there's different ways to buy things. And then of course the closet where you can try on different things at the Able Sisters store. And then using the campsite, you can invite villagers to live there. Live in your island is what I say, or is what I should say. And then of course we already kind of theorized this, but you can upgrade the resident services area, which is really cool. That'll be kind of like our town hall area, which is really nice. And with those upgrades, we'll be able to make upgrades to our houses as well. And then you're also going to be able to choose where the shops can be, or be placed, I should say. That is so amazing. There's so much customization to this game, and it makes my mind just like, hamster wheels. It's just constantly going. And then, of course, the good girl herself will also be working at Resident Services, Isabel. I'm super excited for her to be coming back. She is wonderful, and I am excited to see her beautiful face once again. And what I'm very curious about is, we can have different guests, who have different services visit, and I guess that's a way for us to be able to say, hey, we can incorporate you into our island, or something like that. I hope that's the case, because I would love to be able to add several shops to my island. And then of course this magic wand to be able to change. Are we able to become magical girls in New Horizons? That's something I was not expecting, but it is a warm welcome. And then of course we've got good old Sahara. But I am very, as much as I love Daisy May is super cute. I'm super excited to be playing this game with her. Where's Joan? What happened to Joan? I hope our questions are answered, because I'm genuinely scared. And there's Kix, you know, he's selling things in front of the town hall, so I wonder if he's an event thing. Also, here's CJ. Well, hold on, let me go back to Kix because I don't want to gloss over that. But he's selling stuff from in front of the resident services area. So does he have an actual store anymore, or is he just a pop-up thing? You know, I'm curious about that. And then here we have CJ, who is obviously like Chip Jr., but that also makes me question, what's happened to Chip? And then we have Flick, so what's happened to the chameleon? I can't even remember his name right now, but what happened to him? I care about him, even though I don't remember his name. But I love Flick. Flick is a really cool design, don't get me wrong, and I love their spiky net. I am very skeptical of these free updates, where the free updates will come with seasonal events, like Toy Day, which is Christmas, or Halloween, or Thanksgiving, and Bunny Day, which is Easter. I'm very curious about why those come from updates instead of being in the actual game, and I wonder if that's because they want to cater to people who don't celebrate those certain holidays or something, which I get, but it's also like, but in previous games they just included it, and if you didn't want to do it, you just didn't do it. I don't know, I'm curious why they did it like this. I think maybe they were doing this just to keep in mind of other people's, you know, what they actually celebrate and stuff, but, you know, that's just me thinking. And, you know, of course using the vaulting pole to get across big rivers, and now you can also use ladders to get up ledges. Also, Violet's like dancing. That's not aerobics, that's dancing. And you can also be able to build the bridges, of course, which we were able to do in New Leaf, but now we can do ramps and staircases. Let me just say, I am so excited that our maps come with second tiers again, like in the GameCube days and in City Folk. I just feel like it adds so much more depth to the town instead of just being one level. I'm just so excited. Technically, New Leaf had 2 levels, the beach was on a 2nd level, but really, did anybody do anything on the beaches in New Leaf? No, not really. And now, this part is probably what has everybody going insane about. Of course, we already knew about the path designing, but now we have seen and have confirmation that you can design different paths, like stone paths and brick paths. But if you also notice, you can see the pencil here, which means your own custom path. So that makes, you know, I'm pretty sure that means that we'll be able to have customized paths as well, and not just the basic paths, which, you know, everybody's going to be very happy about. You know, previous Animal Crossing players, I know I'm happy about it, because as much as I love these paths, I'm definitely going to want to customize my paths. And it's also neat that we can use QR codes from previous games, such as New Leaf and Happy Home Designer, for those paths. I'm really excited. Now this is the part, the waterscaping permit and the cliff construction permit. This is so crazy! We've never been able to do anything like this before. Like, you can completely change the whole town. I'm still freaking out about this. I was amazed and my jaw dropped whenever we saw this the first time in the actual direct. But y'all, this is crazy. This is so much customization. Because you know, I don't know if we're limited with all this customization. I hope we aren't. I'm sure there's some kind of limitations, but this changes a lot of the game, y'all. Like, this changes so much, because it used to be that people hacked like crazy to be able to do similar, not the same, similar things like this, to be able to, you know, really customize their towns and stuff. So this is amazing. Like, this is probably the biggest highlight to me within this direct, besides, you know, so many other things. This takes the customization to a whole new level. Balloons are coming back, which I figured they would be. I just hope that the balloon prizes are random furniture items and not just balloon furniture like in New Leaf. You know, in New Leaf it was cool at first, but after a while you're like, how many pieces of this balloon furniture can I get? Or, you know, balloon lamp or whatever. How many balloon lamps can I get, you know? So I hope they change that. That was my only gripe with the balloons in the last game. And there were several people pointing out to this one thing that's coming up. and it makes me very scared, and I hope it's just a piece of furniture and not a part of the game. There is a freaking grave right here at the edge of the map. I hope to everything that is holy that this isn't like some dead NPC, because we haven't seen Chip, we haven't seen Joan, we haven't seen Tortimer, and Tortimer has been reaching, you know, an old age, just like Joan, so I am scared. I hope it's just a piece of furniture, but I'm also like, it's in the very back, so I'm scared. Now, I'm super excited that this game supports Amiibo, because if you saw my full collection of the Amiibo cards video, I have everything. I have every card, I have every special card that like appeared in magazines in Japan. I have every single card. So I am so excited that I'll be able to use my collection and be able to invite, you know, specific villagers to my town using the Amiibo, because when you use the Amiibo, they come to your campsite that you have in your town. Also, Bunny is holding a sandwich. Hold on. Bunny is holding a sandwich. And then I'm not quite sure how I feel about this Phototopia. I think it's cool, but you use Amiibo to kind of bring in certain villagers in here and then be able to take pictures. I think it's cool, but it's also like, I don't know how much I'll actually use it. I'm sure I'll find a use for it. Okay, so one thing I want to point out is that they did say in the direct that some Amiibo card, or I should say some Amiibo, will not be usable until later, probably from free updates or something. There is the DJKK Amiibo card from the Happy Home Designer collection, and they show that it wasn't available right away. So it makes me wonder if we'll be able to invite DJKK and not regular KK, you know, or something. I don't know. You know, it's interesting. I'm very curious. Or is there going to be an actual figure of KK as the DJ? I don't know. Instead of him just on his guitar, it's him at his disc jockey thing. I don't know what I'm talking about. And one thing I really like about the online play is that you can invite people using a dodo code to your town, which is a big deal for anybody who's in the Animal Crossing community who has traded items before, because you didn't want to add them to your 3DS, or your friends list would end up being full with all these random people. I myself do not like adding a bunch of random people to my 3DS or to my Switch, so this allows me to keep my friends list clean and be able to invite random people to do trades and stuff. But I also like this because you can have features where it disables them from using axes or shovels and stuff when you're on an island where that person is not your best friend. That is great because we have had issues in the Animal Crossing community where people will come and just destroy your town when you invite them over for a trade or something, or you were just being nice and you were giving them something for free. So this is great. So unless you're a best friend, you can't modify another person's island.
Hi, my camera died. At least it died at the end of filming this video because I only really had one last point that I wanted to share my opinion about, and it was that there's some Pocket Camp integration. Maybe not integration, but there is going to be some kind of Pocket Camp event that, or, you know, something that interacts with New Horizons or celebrates New Horizons, which I'm super excited about. I know some people in the Animal Crossing community don't like Pocket Camp, but I personally do, just because, you know, I don't play a lot of games right now. I will make the time for New Horizons once it comes out, but since I don't play a lot of games right now, playing Pocket Camp on my phone whenever I can, you know, in the little bits of the day is always fun, and I love it, and it, you know, so to see that it will be included in the next game makes me very, very happy. Well, that's really all I had left to say. I know this was a really long video, but, you know, I just really wanted to go deep dive into everything we saw at the Direct. And if you enjoyed listening to me talking about Animal Crossing for a long time, then please consider subscribing. But if you don't, it's fine. I get it, you know? It's whatever. But if you do choose to stick around, I will see you in the next one.